All right. So real quick, we're gonna do these questions real quick, right? So how do I know out the blue? I know out the blue because first and foremost, I went to school with JMC. I go back deeper than school with Ronan. And so musically, when I heard him, because again, I'm in a lot of different things. I didn't hear what's coming on and what's coming out, but when I heard the song, I didn't even know it was them. I didn't know it was them until I saw that cover. And when I saw that cover, it was on and popping. I already knew who it was when I saw that cover. These my dudes. I'm gonna represent for my people. The next question I'm gonna go to, do I believe that Nikki is a #1 song? Hell yeah. Ain't nothing hotter than Nikki. You play it on any day on the radio here in St. Louis, baby, it's gonna pop. This is a motherfucking #1 song. And edit me out if you want to. I don't care. That's what I believe. Anything else I want to share about the group? I'm gonna say this real quick. I believe that Out the Blue definitely is a #1 group here in St. Louis. Much respect to them. I'm gonna always respect and show love to them because they rep for the city, and I'm all about the city. Much love to you, JMC around Terrell, right here. Love you.
Before we start our journey, let's see who our characters are.
What's going on, my good people? My name is LB. I go by LB the Picasso. How I became a member of Out the Blue. So this is how I became a member of Out the Blue. Me and JMC, we knew each other when we was real little. I used to go to my cousin's house, low down, Quan, and used to hang out with JMC all the time and everything. And one day we was riding around and he was saying he was about to start a record label, and he knew I was doing, some music. And he was like, man, why don't you get down with the team? I'm like, okay. He said, swing by the studio. I said, all right. So I swung by the studio. I met Ro, Q-Ball, Have, O, Pee-wee, and it was like a test from there. So, I knew I had the skills. So, I started coming around a lot, doing songs with Ronan and stuff. He was like, man, shoot, you locked in. Then, we started doing Nikki. They started making Nikki. Then we had that popping off. And, shoot, the rest was history. My favorite time performing with Out the Blue was when we did Jagged Edge, and I think it was Mystical or something we went to. We did a Mystical show. We did we opened up for a lot of people. Do I still do music? Yes, I do. I do still do music. Matter of fact, I'm working on something right now. So yeah, I do a lot of music right now. If you want to follow me, you can find me my music on all music platforms. LB the Picasso. And I have an album when I was without the blue, named LB Intoxicated Picasso. Then after that, I did Intoxicated Picasso Part 2. Then after that, I released Intoxicated Picasso Part 2, Heavy Thinking. Then after that, I released my third album. It was called Perfect Picture. And the fourth EP was called Diamond 7, that's recently out. And on that, I got Ronan, Playboy Ro on feature on 2 songs. And now I'm currently finishing up my 5th and 6th LP, that's coming soon. So yeah, man, out the blue, them we was something to reckon with, man. You know, we the ones that had the magnets, and we did it all. We did it all. The time I was with Out the Blue was great. Just a group of brothers that was serious about real music, making some good classic music. Nikki, Hennessy No Ice, man, a bunch of other stuff too, man. Shit, we used to roll like 15 deep with the magnets on the side of the car. Man, we was like an organized record label. Is there anything else I want to share about Out the Blue? Well, yeah, I heard through the grapevine that we making a reunion album. So keep your eyes open for that reunion album. Appreciate y'all. LB the Picasso. One.
Yo, I'm Dave. I got involved in music when I was about 15, 16 years old. I started making beats. Made my first beat on a Triton. It was my brother's actually. I used to see him and his group and his label making moves, making songs. They would have a huge impact on the city with some of their songs. They had a hit single called Nikki. It's still a St. Louis classic to this day. People love that song. It's always going to be a part of St. Louis. And my brother really was an inspiration of me getting started in making music. So yeah, I made my first beat when I was 16. I go by King David. That's my production name. My dad started calling me King David when I was a baby, when I was little, you know what I'm saying, from David and Goliath. And the power and the story behind that name and everything that it means, like, to me, it's fitting, and it only made sense to go by that name. Plus, it pays homage to my dad, you know what I'm saying, for giving me that name. So yeah, I go by King David. All my tags say King David on them. So yeah, that's me. Some of my musical inspirations, a lot of the cliche names that everybody say, you know what I'm saying, Michael Jackson and Prince and Tupac, Biggie, you know what I'm saying, all the rap in the 90s, you know what I'm saying. I really loved old school rap, like, to me at the time. LL Cool J, like his old stuff from like the late 80s was tough. I liked Kumo D, like Wild Wild West. When I was like 4 or 5 years old, I used to love that song. And then as time went on, No Limit, big influence with Beats by the Pound. And then Cash Money with Manny Fresh. And then from there, it really, evolved for me. That Dirty South sound is really what caught my ear the most. Like the Cool and Dre era, Zaytoven, Shawty Red, Drummer Boy. Man, when them guys really started making hits, that's really when I started thinking like, okay, this is the type of music I would like to make too. Something that sound like this impact, was definitely had a big inspiration on me. My favorite producer, I would probably say Drummer Boy. I feel like he had a mean run in the mid 2000s. Like, he had some hits, but he don't get the recognition that I feel he deserved, because I think he's definitely one of the best of all time. Like, the dude is tough, man. And yeah, as I mentioned, my older brother is Playboy Rowe. It was fun working with him, collaborating with him, because like I mentioned, he's a big inspiration, you know what I'm saying? A big reason why I even got into music was seeing him do it. And, to get to work with him, was a good experience. Like when I first started making beats, I was just making beats because I wanted to see if I can create something cool. Like, I was really into subs and car systems and car audio and stuff like that. So I was like, man, I wonder if I could make something that's knocking, like on these systems. Like, I would love to hear something I create on these subs and hear some bass and come down knocking to something I create. And so that's really what I was thinking when I started making beats. I'm just making them for me. But then, like, over time, I guess, I started getting better and better at it. And other people start taking notice. And then my brother really started getting engaged with it. And I I play him a beat, and he like, bro, send it to me. And I'm like, oh, okay, I send it to him. And he don't really say nothing else about it. He may pull up on me a few hours later or the next day. He like, bro, hop in the car. So I hop in the car. He turned the beat on. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, you like the beat? He like, yeah. And I'm, you know what I'm saying, just vibing. And then boom, his verse will drop. And I'm like, phew. Then the hook will drop. I'm like, dang, bro, you made a whole song? He like, yeah. I'm like, man, that's hard. Like his creative process is you know what I'm saying, it's really, really good. Like he has a unique creation methodology that he has. Like I used to title all my beats and then send them to him. But over time I stopped doing that because sometimes it made sense to title it what I was thinking. And then other times it didn't because I was just naming it something so that I could save it. And I would name it something generic like track 3, track 4, track 5 and send that to him. And he'll have a whole concept to it. And you know what I'm saying, he'll have a concept that matches whatever project he's working on. Like if he's working on an album and I send him like track 3, for example, he can adapt that track to his album and make it fit in with everything else that he has on that album. So his creative process is dope, man. Dude got a really, really sharp musical mind, for real. My favorite song that I produced so far, I would probably say "Get Money." That song was tough. It had Playboy Roll, my brother. It had Ball on there. That's my cousin, Young Slim, and Fats, Marcus.
All right, so welcome back. And we are here with the next generation. Actually, we have a couple of generations on the couch with us today. And we're going to start with this young lady, the first young lady here, or the only young lady right here. And if you could just tell us your name and who you are.
My name is Raven, and I am Alcohol's third.
Awesome. Who is this next to you, young man?
My name is Dylan, and I'm Al's first son.
Oh, okay. And who is this next to you?
My name is Clayton, and I'm Al's last son.
Nice. And who's this little one in your lap?
That's Kingston. That's my son and Al's first grandbaby.
Wow, wow. So we're here today to talk to you guys about your dad. He wears a lot of hats, but we're specifically focusing on his musical attributes. And I do have to give a disclaimer. We do not own the rights to the YouTube playing in the background. That is Miss Rachel. We do not own the rights, and we do not claim to own those rights. So, your dad, Playboy Row, all of his success as a musician, I'm sure you guys know him as much more, but what has growing up with your dad and all of his musical escalades, what has that been like for you guys?
It's pretty interesting actually. We've been able to, I say, meet a lot of different people. We've encountered a lot of like what people call influencers, or like even just like pretty like just well put together people in like throughout the couple years. Well, I've met a couple more than they have, but yeah.
So you're the oldest.
Yep.
Awesome.
I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest. Okay, so I don't know if you remember, I don't know how old you were when Nikki and some of the other more mainstream songs came out, but do you remember any of those times of your dad going to shows and performing?
I have a couple core memories with my dad when it comes to his music. I do remember some of those nights in the studio, and I remember going on stage with him one time in my life when I was maybe around like maybe 5, 6. I can't even remember fully, but yeah, we made a song together, and that was the first time I've ever been like on a stage, and it was like a lot of people and everything. So
wow, so you made a song with your dad?
I made 2 songs with my dad. Yep.
Wow.
Probably actually more than that. We made a whole Christmas album together as a family.
So all of you made the Christmas album.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What was that experience like?
I don't have a vivid memory of it at all because I was probably like 2, 3. But if that's the case, I was born. I don't know when it was. I remember being some Christmas. Like I remember like some Christmases hearing the songs from the album, but I don't know.
I don't think you was 2 or 3. You probably was like 3 or 4.
Clayton wasn't on the album.
No, Clayton was not born, so he was about like 3 or 4.
Wow.
Because he was on top.
Oh, well, yeah. So I know that your dad grew up with his dad being in a band, playing musicians, having other musicians coming around, and music kind of was infused into him. Do any of you feel like you picked up the musical gene? I know Raven, you said you made a couple of songs, but would you say that's your passion?
At one point I did think it was a passion, but I also think I mostly just probably looked up to my dad. But I do have like a really strong love for music. Like I feel like he has helped me with that, where like he uses music as a coping skill, so I kind of picked up on that, and I think a lot of my days go based off of like music.
Wow.
And a lot of my emotions are always kind of, you can tell how I feel if you hear like the kind of music I'm probably listening to like all day.
Wow, that's very interesting. I know. I'm sorry, Dylan, you had.
Yeah. I can also agree with that in a sense, but for me, it's never. I tried like getting into music a couple times, like just like playing around with my friends and stuff. I wouldn't say I had the same skill music wise as my dad. I definitely didn't get that from him, but the love of music definitely, and I think I did. From my dad, I got a deep level of understanding of music. I think that's what I got growing up from being around all the music, because I like to pick out different things from what I hear in music, and I like to listen to a lot of different music. Like some people call my music taste weird, but I like it's anything I find good, I'll listen to it. I'll listen to anything.
That's me too. I listen to all eras and genres. My bias when it comes to
I
music at all.
I like studying music too. So yeah. But as far as like rapping and singing and stuff, I used to be able to sing a little bit, but puberty and all that.
Hey, your voice changed. and what about you, Clayton?
I think that I was born naturally talented with music and rapping skills.
Really?
Yes, because I feel like it was naturally given to me by God, and my dad passed their music skills down to me. And
What music you make?
I feel like I'm really a good musical person.
Wow. That's really amazing. This is like an exclusive. So you like to rap?
I dibble and dabble into a little bit of rapping, R&B,
And R&B. Okay. You want to give us a preview? It's up to you. No pressure.
I can't do that right now.
Okay. We'll catch you when you're ready. So that's amazing, though. So we have generations, and just to put it out there, it's perfectly fine if it's not your passion, because we're all individuals, right? It just so happens that your dad kept it going from his dad. So with your dad, you guys talked about different genres that you like. People call your taste in music sometimes weird. What are some of the musical acts and groups that you like that people have been like, that's kind of weird?
I like country music.
Okay. So you got excited with Beyonce's announcement, maybe?
Not Beyonce country. I like Carrie. Carrie Underwood country, like not Taylor Swift, Miley Cyrus country.
Yeah.
I like them.
Yeah.
For me, well, sometimes like when I'm riding around in my car, I just like listen to anime soundtracks. Like people find that weird, and I like some rock music. Like I like Wisp. I like what's their names? Deftones. It's a couple other like just rap songs I like, and then some underground music, like like some people that's just not known, like not mainstream. Some people find that weird too, but I like it all.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anybody ever said your musical taste was weird, Clayton, or like didn't expect you to listen to the things you listen to?
I wouldn't say that, but I listen to a lot of women artists.
Okay. And you know what? A funny story. You too?
Yeah.
I'm just a kid from Kinloch that was introduced to music basically when I was born. I've been on stage since I was 3 years old. And it was the first thing that I ever loved was music. And so, man, I didn't just live my life doing what I love to do. I was fortunate enough to be in position to, have a really, really, really big record, and then, some other decent records. Experienced all the ups and downs that come with, being in the music business, and, I got a lot of stories out of it, a lot of good memories, and, hey, that's life.
Wow.
Yep.
So you just said a lot there, so let's unpack some of that.
All right.
You got your start in Kinloch, right?
Yeah.
Kinloch, Missouri.
Yep.
So tell us how that was growing up. Because a lot of people, they look at Kinloch now and they don't really understand how important Kinloch is to St. Louis history.
Well, for me, it's kind of really a precursor for, my life as far as my surroundings. What I mean by that is, growing up in Kinloch, it's a black it's a black community. It wasn't a black neighborhood, it was a black community where, everything in the community, was ran and owned by us. So that was, the grocery store, the cleaners, you had a funeral home, we had restaurants, had a fire department, had the post office, we had liquor stores, we had parks. It was a community. And it was ran by us, and it was all about us. So growing up, I went to all black, grade school. I started at an all black high school. That was my choice at Carter Ritter. And then, from circumstances, ended up having to finish, my high school at McClure, which, met a lot of good friends that I still have to this day, great people. And then, ended up going to HBCU. So I never thought about maybe my foundation really being in Kinloch and being around it is what, kind of encouraged the way, that I would move forward in my life and as far as how I felt about our community and, what we do for each other in the community. So.
Wow.
But people don't know that about Kinloch. They just see it now as ran down and, drug infested and violence and, but that's not what Kinloch was built on. It's really a community that was really about us, being self-sufficient. So till the airport came and, bought it out and people start moving out. Everybody's working for McDonnell Douglas and, Ford and GM and stuff like that, and good factory jobs and stuff like that. So people in the community were making money, but just like with most black communities and black neighborhoods, is once you start making some money, the idea is that hey, we need to move out, to the suburbs, away from each other. And what it basically does is the people who are able to move out, they kind of dilute the rest of the community. So if I got doctors and accountants and factory guys, everybody lives in the same community, there's a balance. But if the doctors and the people who are making, decent money for themselves take themselves out of the community, then that just leaves behind just whatever. And so it becomes that, and now we don't have the same balance in the community, and, sometimes they go down, So, but that's what happened with Kinloch. A lot of people don't know that, but I'm proud to say that I'm from Kinloch. It's the first black community in the country. of his kind like that. So yeah, I'm proud to be from Kinloch.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, your history goes deep.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you started in Kinloch and
Yeah.
you've been playing an instrument.
Yeah.
So tell us about that instrument.
Well, I play the drums.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first thing my daddy taught me. I got baby pictures. I couldn't even walk. I was barely crawling, and he got me playing the drums. I got pictures and stuff where I'm playing a full-size drum set, and I can barely see over the drum set.
Yo, what's up? This is James C. out the Blue Entertainment CEO. I say not Nikki.
We are here with the legend, JMC
Appreciate it.
of Out the Blue Entertainment.
What's up?
How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm doing great.
I'm so glad to have you here with us today. It is such an honor.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just jump right into it.
Sure thing.
Out the Blue.
Mm-hmm.
How did it come about?
Out the Blue was the name of a group that we had when we were teens. It was me and 3 other people. What happened was we went to a studio and we recorded some songs, and while we were there, we didn't have a group name then. And one of the guys that was a childhood friend of mine, he was like, well, since we came to the studio Out the Blue, then that's what we should name the group, is Out the Blue. So that's what we did. So then we started going under that name for years as when I was younger, and we did a couple albums, and then we disbanded that. Then we came back, and I wanted to start a record label again, and I wanted to make the label name Out the Blue. So we just used the group name to the label, and that's how we came over with Out the Blue Entertainment.
Wow. Inspirational.
Right.
So you got the group name. Where did the talent come from?
Well, I've been playing music all my life, ever since I was 3. I played by ear.
What?
So I played in band class and jazz band, and from Lee Hamilton, Ferguson Middle, McClure High. Shout out to all the comments. Shout out to all McClure alumni. So I played by ear.
Wow.
On the keyboard. So that's where that came from. So I always, if I wasn't doing something in some type of band, then I was always recording when I was younger. So that's where the talent from me come from. Now with Ro, I know he had a background in music too. I know he played drums and some other instruments as well. And it just so happened that we had met up in high school is where me and him met. So we had a lot of common interests, you know what I'm saying? We was into getting money young, cars, clothes, all that, going to Saints and the Palace, all that kind of stuff. And when we got older and we got out of high school, we were doing really good. I ended up getting a job at GM. He was working in real estate. And then while we was just out riding around in our fancy trucks one day, and I was like, man, look, I want to start a record label. And he was like, well, if you down with it, then I'm down. Wow. So that's how the initial process of that went down.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That is amazing.
Yes.
So you guys are friends. You both had this amazing musical background.
Right.
Both had great income, really coming in already.
Mm-hmm.
What was it that said, okay, in addition to the money that I'm already making, I already got this nice truck.
Right.
What makes me step out on the ledge to say, let's start this music thing. Let's get it off the ground. Because most people get into the music business to kind of make money.
Yeah.
But you guys already had a pretty
we were
foundation.
already, me and Ro we were financially set when we were younger. I mean, we had, like I said, nice cars, homes when we were young, when we were young 20s. So I just wanted more. I wanted to be able to give back, and I wanted to put people on. I want other people to get on.
Wow.
So that was my, that's how I first wanted to get it all going, to start the label, to just put people on that had talent from here.
Wow.
So that was what I wanted to start first, was to get those people on. It was supposed to be a compilation album of all the artists that we rocked with. I would just want to do the production for it. I wanted to really be in the background is what I wanted.
Wow.
I had no intention of really rapping and doing it like that for real. I just wanted to do the music and be financially responsible for anything that they needed, you know, as far as the label was concerned.
Wow. Wow. I'm blown away. I really did not know any of this.
Really?
Really? So it's you and Al. Now, we know that Out the Blue has other members. So how did that come about? Who met who introduced who?
Some of the members were from a while ago when we had the group before, and then Ro, he had people that he rocked with, family members, friends, you know, so we all came together, and that's how we had the several people that we started with initially.
Okay. Wow. That's so amazing.
Yeah.
So I wanted to, while we're on the introduction and getting to know who you are, I wanted to just let you know the impact that you've had on me personally. Now, Al, of course, for those who don't know, is my older brother.
Right.
And I grew up looking up to him. I still look up to him. And I was in it. I'm a sister. I'm a fan. I was also inspired. So the name of this docuseries was actually inspired by you guys, Out the Blue. The name of this docuseries is Out the Blue.
Respect.
Yes, so we feature St. Louis people that's doing amazing things. We could not do it without featuring Out the Blue. You guys are the first guests on Out the Blue series. So when you hear things like that, when you see that the impact that you've had on people, and you hear Nikki, it blew up so big.
Right.
What does that do for you as a person, as a man?
I mean, it makes me feel good, you know, that people respect something that we have put out, you know what I'm saying? I'm super humbled by it, you know. Like I said, the first time when I went out and heard it in the club, and to hear the response, people knowing the words, and I was like, wow, you know, I was grateful, you know what I'm saying? It made me feel good, accomplished, you know what I'm saying?
Wow. Wow. And as we wrap up the portion of introduction, JMC, where does the name come from?
JMC is my initials, Jason Clay, and my middle initial is M, so JMC is where the name came from.
Wow. And it just fits so well. Wow. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming and giving us your introduction story.
For sure.
We appreciate you.